Hello, people. Today I have with me a woman known for her work as Jimmy Neutron, Nergal Jr. on Billy and Mandy, and Coco Bandicoot in the Crash Bandicoot games, Miss Debi Derryberry.
Hi there.
Hello, and how are you doing today?
I'm great, thank you.
All right, so first off, I gotta ask, what is it that got you interested in acting?
Let's see. I think I just like people clapping at me.
Hmm.
I was part of a family that did a lot of community theater, and I loved doing theater, and I loved the whole idea of acting. But I was from such a small town. I never really considered it as a way of having a career. So I was a pre-med at UCLA and always did acting and singing as sort of fun. And then I don't know, something happened and I ended up in voiceover. I didn't even know it was a way to make a living before.
Do you remember what your first voice acting job was?
I think it was something with pigs from the South, but I don't remember. But I remember, I think my first series was one with Tim Curry and Jack Angel was Peter Pan and the Pirates. I was
Oh,
the first voice of Tinkerbell.
ooh.
Yeah,
That's
that was
cool.
fun.
Were you all working together, or was it like one-on-one?
Actually, that was one of those where we all worked together, and we had so many kids that went on. We had Josh Keaton was in it, and oh my gosh, so many of the kids have gone on. Chris Alport and Patrick, no, it's Scotty Menville.
Hmm.
Were all our little boys back then. In fact, Scotty Menville's mother, I was body doubling Scotty in a movie called Ernest Goes to Camp with Jim Varney
Huh.
way back when he was 12 years old,
Hmm.
and I was full grown, but the size of a 12-year-old boy. So I body doubled him, and we were in the middle of the forest, and Scotty's mom said, "Hey, why don't you do animation, cartoon voices?" And that was the first time I ever thought of it. And so I sent letters out and my uh, demo reel out and got great responses and moved back to Los Angeles and got signed right away.
Hmm.
Who knew?
Yeah. It's like, have you met Scott like recently? Like, have you actually like met him now and say like, I knew you when you were little?
Yeah, I run into him all the time. Yeah, I've him and his wife, and I still keep up with his mom once in a while. Yeah, it's a very small voiceover community here in Los Angeles. We all love each other.
All right, and I noticed because you started out doing kind of a mix. You did anime and Western. You did anime and Western in the 90s.
Anime and Western. What does
Western
that mean?
animation is like the stuff where that you do the voice acting first and then they animate it, and anime is the stuff that's already animated.
Got it. I've never heard it called that. Okay. You know what? I'm an actor and I'll do whatever job hires me. And it happened to be that a lot of my jobs there were doing either video games or sometimes I'll have an anime series and sometimes I'll have I guess, Western animation series. It just depends on whatever jobs come my way.
Is it weird doing anime compared to other cartoons?
Well, it's different because it's a different skill set. When you do, I'm going to use the word Western now because that's easy. When I do Western action, I sort of have the freedom, or the voice actor has the freedom of improving and taking your time with the line and adding and subtracting things to really make it your own. But when you're working with anime, you're married to the lip flaps, and usually the translator, the writer, will try and match your lip flaps. And generally it always matches up, but sometimes it doesn't. But you don't really have the liberty of extending it. So if the line was, wait, I'm coming. If it was Western animation, I might be like, ugh, wait, I'm coming, man. Ah, which extends it and is a whole lot more lip flaps. Whereas in anime, wait, I'm coming. There's only four lip flaps and you got to match them. So it's a whole different skill set where you're watching the screen, you're timing it. It's a little more similar to promo than Western animation, or similar to looping or ADR than when there's no picture to go to.
Hmm. I've also know you're a singer as well, and you have a couple albums. And was it around the same time you liked acting? Like, did singing just kick in at the same time too?
Actually, singing was my first love. I got my first guitar when I was 9, and I started writing songs back then. Uh, Before I went into children's music, after college, I really loved country music and moved to Nashville to pursue country music and being um, a single country singer. And the jobs I got were singing, but it was singing jingles like a baby.
Mm.
So I always got jobs singing as a child, and that's sort of where the kids' voices kicked in. And when I moved to Los Angeles, I formed a band called Honey Pig, and we were together 7 years and have two albums and a IP out, and I guess it's not called IP, LP, whatever the short CD. Anyway, we have a couple of those out, and we were like one of the top bands in Los Angeles for many years. And then when I became a mom, I switched over to preschool music because I just love all kinds of music. And I have 3 preschool CDs out. Some of my songs have been on the charts. One of them went to #1 on XM and Sirius.
Wow.
I had some top 10 tunes on XM Sirius Kids. So I still have a lot of preschool fans who came to my concerts. I did tour the US with all my kids' music. Now I'm back to voiceover full time, focusing full time on my voiceover because I'm really busy with it. But I always will love the music, and on my YouTube channel, I'm going to be doing some Debi Derryberry unplugged videos, and there's some on there now. But if any of your listeners look at subscribe to my YouTube channel, they can see them there.
And with the child voices, was because you've been Jimmy Neutron, you were Nergal Jr., you've been these little boy characters. Were characters like Nergal and Jimmy, were they originally planning on having boys, or was it originally a woman from the start that they were going to have?
Well, I believe they were planning on having a woman, only because when you really believe in your show and you're expecting it to go on for a while, and if it's going to have legs and go on for many seasons, and you hire a pubescent boy, you're going to have to recast once their voice drops. So it's easier for the producer, I think, to hire a woman who you don't have to worry about their voice changing. And, those of us who do it, me and Tara Strong and Pammy Adler and A.G. Daly and Nancy Cartwright, who, we have the longevity of not changing. Our voice is always going to stay like this.
Right, because funny thing, I was watching, there was a VeggieTales cartoon they have on Netflix now, and I saw Tress MacNeille was both the little boy and the little girl in the show, which I thought was fascinating. And she was Dot, too, on Animaniacs, so she's...
That's right.
And she's, well, I think, I feel so bad for not knowing her age, because I feel like I'm going to say she's really old. I want to say 63, maybe, 65?
She's 10 years old. As far as I know, she's just a teenager. She'll always be a teenager to me. I don't think any of us are going to say our real age because it's what our voices get cast as. And, if you take care of your instrument, it just sounds like it sounds. I mean, look at June Foray. She can still do her Rocky Squirrel voice. And that's just, thank goodness there's a way to make a living when you sound like us.
Yeah, I feel so bad for saying that now. I feel like I just called Tress MacNeille really old.
No, it's nice to know that, you're verbalizing your curiosity. I think everybody wonders how old everybody is, but I don't know that you're ever going to find out. We're just going to keep doing what we do because we love it so much.
Right. And, all right, because you're famous for Jimmy Neutron and several other characters. Is it weird telling people that you're the voice of a little boy? Like, is it weird telling people that?
I just say I talk like a kid for a living. I think for some people it might, when people see me in the studio, I've had them ask me, aren't you embarrassed talking like that? But the thought never crossed my mind. It's super fun for me. It's what I do. I love it. I don't know what the question was, but no, it's what I do.
All right. And I've also noticed, because on occasion you've done animal noises, like on Oswald you were Weenie, the little dog.
Yeah.
What is the process for doing that exactly when you do animal, like barks and things like that?
Well, I suppose once you find how to control your instrument to make it make that meow or that growl or that chirp or the chitter or the bark. Then there's different places you can place that bark to make it the size of the dog and the age of the dog or the cat. Say you were a normal cat, a big old tom cat, it might just be like meow, meow. But if that cat was shy and grown up female, she might be meow, meow. Oh. But maybe that's a tiny kitten. Maybe they just dumped a tiny kitten at the doorstep, and that's the same sound, but
oh.
So it's just a different placement, and you really have to kind of crawl inside the character, whether it comes out as a dog or a cat or a squirrel or a monster. I think it's all those. It's just channeling the character, and that's how it comes out. And I have done, like, on Curious George, I was Gnocchi the kitty cat. And in Oswald, as you said, I was both the baby caterpillar and the dog. Never said a word. And in this other anime show called Tenchi Muyo, I was the bunny / kitty / spaceship. And she turned into all those characters and never said a word on any of those shows.
Bunny / cat / spaceship?
Yeah, Ryo Oki is her name on Tenchi Muyo. It's a very old anime, but when I'm at conventions, people just love Ryo Oki, and they dress up and carry stuffed animals and remember Ryo Oki like it was a Bugs Bunny.
Now I'm curious, just by the description, cat, bunny, spaceship. Now I'm curious.
You'll have to go Google some Ryo Oki on Tenchi Muyo.
It's like the cat bus from My Neighbor Totoro or whatever.
Exactly.
Something like that. How did recording go for an animal noise? Like, what is it? Is it similar with a human? Like, would they tell you, like, here's a sad bark, here's, like, he's supposed to sound sad, like, or something like that?
It's usually in response to whatever actor you're working with. If, this dog's excited right now, or maybe, yeah, just like you said, or maybe you're a little sad, or maybe you're tired. All the things that pertain to you if you were a human, you just do the same thing as a dog. So, I'm sorry, I'm having my afternoon coffee. If I was, if you were a very excited dog, you'd be like, or if you were, and as you're recording, you'll want to turn away from the mic a little bit, because that'll tend to overmodulate against the microphone, or look down a little bit. And then, if you were excited your owner was home, it would be more of a or if you were really sad, or you stepped on something. So I guess the same placement, and you just have to look at the character you're doing and see how big it is, and if they have a big sloppy mouth or a cute tiny little mouth. So I guess it all depends. But the recording of it, there's just some tricks, like I mentioned about the microphone. There's a few other tricks to make it come through on the microphone well. I don't know how I got started doing animals. Of course, Frank Welker is the genius and the king of all animals, he and D. Bradley Baker. But once in a while, they let me do it.
I can't believe I just heard it. I don't know what it is hearing people do animal noises. I find it adorable.
Thank you.
And you're currently on Monster High too, I believe. Is that still going?
Yeah, Monster High's still going. And I think they're getting ready to do another movie, and there's still a lot of webisodes. And I do the voice of Draculaura. She's from Transylvania. She's very high. She has very nice clothes.
And what's it like when you're part of a franchise with like that big? It's kind of like Bratz almost, kind of like Barbies or Bratz or something. When you're part of a franchise that big.
Well, it's the same as any voice job. It's not like we participate in the sales. I'm just the actor. they do what they do with it, and I just go in the studio and honor the voice that I do for her and have fun doing what I always do. I am doing a new show for Netflix that it's called F is for Family, and it'll be out next year, I think. It's with a comedian named Bill Burr, and I play the daughter, and that'll be out next year.
And I gotta say, thank you so much for letting me interview you.
It's my pleasure. I'm sorry it took so long. It gets very busy. As soon as I'm done with you, I have another, and then some more auditions just came in as we're speaking.
All right, and is there any advice you can give to aspiring voice actors that could be watching this?
Well, I guess you better make sure it's what you really want to do because it's a lot of work. And I do help people with coaching and guiding them. I can be reached at my website, DebiDerryberry.com, or info@DebiDerryberry.com. Or, you can keep visiting my YouTube channel, Debi Derryberry, and I will have voiceover tips on there. I think you just have to take classes, and it's an acting job. Just because you sound like, Bugs Bunny or Mickey Mouse, that does not make a voice actor. D. Bradley Baker has a wonderful site. I think it's called I Want to Be a Voice Actor,
Yeah.
or So You Want to Be a Voice Actor, something like that. It answers a lot of questions also. But it's a full-time job, and it's a lot of work, and I have a lot of devoted students and us actors who are in it full-time, working full-time. It's not something you can really do part-time because I'm busy from the moment I wake up till the moment I go to bed doing auditions and perfecting techniques and getting my studio better. You got to really love it. So I just encourage anybody who loves it to just dive in and study all they can and learn everything you can. There's so much out there. And you can audition from home. There's so many online casting companies like Voices.com, Voice123, VO Planet. The world is huge in voiceover. So I wish everybody so much luck and so much fun.